Εξομολογήστε το Κύριο διαγραφός, αλληλούια, ότι στον αιώνα το έλεος αυτού, αλληλούια.
I think you need to hang around people who are actually intelligent. No, I'm an idiot. Good question. Here's what we'll do. After the corner, come hang out with us. Right? Oh, well, all right. Well, yeah,
You only just got here, so we're going to hang around.
Okay. Let's do it. So, my friend, you regard that man as being special. Now, Islamic topics. That's one conversation. However, as you're aware, he mostly talks about comparative religion. Would you consider him to be knowledgeable regarding the other religions?
Remember, knowledgeable, I'm saying in relative to other people. Everyone else is very much, you see what I mean? Like, knowledgeable, of course, relative. Because everyone else, he's like a lion compared to everyone else in terms of knowledge.
He's not a layman.
Yeah? Yeah, so that's what I mean.
Where is this knowledge showcased? Islamic
I've seen many
topics
of his videos
or comparative
with
religion?
Christians and Jews and Muslims.
So he's
Knowledgeable in this regard.
Islamic apologetics especially. Is that
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
And in Christian doctrine and in Hebrew doctrine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
Could you please?
You know what I mean? Instead of
So-
really showcase.
Okay. If you were to ask him something very simple, like, for example, did the apostles preach the divinity of Jesus? He'd reply no, right? And say that it's not in the Bible. But then when you bring him very, very clear verses that showcase that Paul, Peter, John, Mark give him divine attributions or ascribe divinity to him in his actions and his teachings, he then just ignores them and then goes to other verses that he can twist without providing me a tafsir. So if that's how he argues Christianity, he cannot be knowledgeable. In fact, he will be a jahil.
Yeah, ignorant, right?
Very ignorant. And so I beseech you to go and potentially ask him something simple like, did John consider Christ God? And he'll tell you no, despite the fact that in the opening prologue of John, he identifies Jesus as the eternal Word of God. How would you be knowledgeable if you can't read the opening of a chapter?
I believe he doesn't believe the apostles.
So, for example, I don't believe Muhammad's a prophet, for example, right? However, if you were to ask me to recount for you a teaching he had or something attributed to him, I can do that for you, right? So, for example, if you were to ask me, did the Sahaba believe that Muhammad was a prophet, right? I would tell you yes. That is the honest opinion. By what they have said and what they have written, it appears that they ascribe prophethood to Muhammad. That's me being honest. Now, if I ask you the same thing about John relating to Jesus, he will be dishonest. And then skip the first opening, go all the way to the 17th chapter, and then focus on one verse in a singular chapter without providing you context of the conversation. That is not the work of a knowledgeable man. And my very last, I'll let you go ahead, please. My very last topic. Knowledgeable men and none are afraid to have their knowledge challenged. Hashim will not debate me because he knows I know all of his tricks. Please go ahead.
You said he twists the words, ignores what you're saying, and then he goes to others.
They also like doing what's called a genetic fallacy. So I think Lamin, for example, does this a lot. Where if he asks you a question to show, for example, where Jesus is God, if you don't say it, for example, specifically where Jesus says, "I am God, worship me," or like an exact word fallacy, or if you look at it from a book which isn't the specific Gospels, for example, like one of Paul's letters or one of the epistles of John, right? He takes it as either not reliable or it's coming from like an obscene source, right? And then it will avoid the question and then go back to his topic, which is again a bit of a fallacy from my perspective, because if you can show a clear depiction from a verse, say in Colossians or from Revelation or from 1 John, which shows Jesus' divinity, that should be clearly backed and that should be taken as its word. It shouldn't be a case where you say, okay, no, that's some obscure verse, I'm looking for the gospel, right? Because you've been given the evidence, you just don't want to take it. And that's what they tend to do a lot, which is a bit unfortunate.
And I think to add to what you just said, if you look at the
Oh, good, thank you.
the 1 John, 2 John, it's the same John who wrote the gospel. So that is not a make-up story. It's different.
Agreed. Amen.
You got to open up and embrace the truth. Because if you look at the subject of the Bible language, if you talk about demonology, the Bible doesn't use the term. So if you use the scripture very well, if you open up, you come to that understanding of the language. So Jesus is God in every way in the scripture. God to
And we can show it to you, of course, if you'd like to see. That's another thing.
There's two that I'd want to show you that go directly into the Greek. If
You
you're
know what I
interested.
love? You know what I love? I love no one showing me anything, but speaking straight from. That's what I love.
No,
I don't like anyone
that's-
taking
that-
anything out.
That's
Because you
wrong.
should have come prepared.
Well,
no.
no.
Unless I need proof, and I
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
for
of
proof.
course.
Well,
Yeah?
Of course.
You see what
I
I mean?
can say, for
Now you want to
example-
show me. You wanna show me
I don't
that's
actually
different.
agree with you,
Now
actually.
it's walk and talk. You see what I mean?
I don't agree with
need-
you on that
If you
topic.
think
For
something's
example-
wrong, you can ask for proof.
For example, if the flood came today and every book was taken out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the ink is dissipated. You only have you and what you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're going to pray that the scholars are still alive, right? To tell you, because they probably memorize some things.
exactly, right.
Yeah? But what's left's going to be what's left. You have to go around everyone and start taking down everything everyone made.
Sounds a bit
See what I
like
mean?
Islam, actually, doesn't it?
See what I mean?
In a sense.
You see, when
I don't agree with
That's why I
that.
said, you're about to show me something. I said,
Yeah,
tell me.
like, I
Well-
can
Tell me.
say it, I can
I'll
say it.
believe you
Oh, like-
So,
much, so long as I... So
if
long as
if I may, I am not saying he would, but theoretically, he could just lie to you.
Yep.
How would you know he was
So
lying?
I'd want to make sure I could show you so you know I'm not lying.
No,
right?
no,
Or you
that's,
can take my word
that's,
for
that's
it.
if I don't believe you.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't prove that you're telling the truth. I want to know by fact, proof and evidence if you're telling the truth. I take you as your word because I don't believe you any of your lies.
Well,
Yeah,
are,
exactly.
are
By default,
you?
one
How
lie-
do you
by
know?
default,
But the
lies
question,
and-
yeah,
No, no.
that's the question.
No,
Like,
I
lies
don't-
and-
you could also take a Muslim's word for it, for
how do you
example,
live
when it
your
could be
life?
wrong. So.
You live your life walking out, thinking there's going to be a thunder today. You walk out, speaking to someone, saying hello, thinking he's going to stab you. No, by default, you walk out thinking you're going to live, you're going to go to work, you're going to make it, you're going to come back. When you're saying hello to someone, by default, you know he's saying hello back genuinely.
Yeah.
When he says, where are you going, you genuinely think that he's going to tell you the truth about where he's going.
But it's the thing is,
By
it's-
default, by default, by default.
It's not
of course.
lying.
It's still your own
The point
I'm
interpretation,
saying.
right?
The
He's
point
saying,
is
what if
making-
he's lying? What if he's lying? I don't go by what.
No, what? No, but
That's not how
if
you live your
ask
life.
for the evidence and he's showing you the source.
I would
you
insist
should have
you ask for
patience
evidence
enough to
anyway.
say,
Just
okay,
answering his
Yeah.
point. He just asked one little point.
I'll let you say your thing. I have a rebuttal to that, but I'll let you do your thing. Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
if you want to just take my word for it, right? So if you look into two particular verses in the New Testament, so you got Luke 6:46 and Mark 1 verse 3. Okay, so I'll do Luke 6:46 first, right? So Jesus is saying to his disciples, "You call me Lord, Lord," and then when you look into the Greek specifically for that, it's the term Kyrios, Kyrios, or Kyrie, Kyrie, right? So that's the term for Lord, and that can be equivocated to in the Hebrew as either Adonai, meaning just a Lord, or Yahweh. However, when you look, for example, to the scholastic interpretations of the term Kyrie in a double vocative sense, right? That is a divine term equivocated solely to Yahweh. So the Hebrew for that would be Adonai Yahweh, right? So what Jesus is saying there in the direct Greek is, "You call me Yahweh," right? So that's one. And then in Mark chapter 1 verse 3, it quotes from the Old Testament. So it's quoting "Prepare the way for the Lord," which is from Isaiah, I think 40 verse 3, if I remember rightly. And again, it uses the term Kyrie. Now, like I said, the term Kyrie can be either for Adonai in Hebrew, which is just could be Master, Sir, or Yahweh, which is obviously the Tetragrammaton, right? So the term for God. And then what you can do is you can look to the Greek Septuagint of the Old Testament, which is essentially the direct translation from Hebrew to Greek that, for example, Jesus would have read in the temples at his time of the Old Testament, right? Of the scriptures. And what it says there, right, is exactly the same, right? And then when you look to the Old Testament Hebrew, it clearly says, "Prepare the way for," and then in Hebrew, Yahweh. So there's no room for interpretation of the Greek term there. It clearly states in Isaiah 40 verse 3 in the Hebrew that it's Yahweh. And then when you look at it, in Mark 1 verse 3, it states, this is foretelling the prophecy that is of Jesus through this verse in Isaiah 40 verse 3. So it's basically saying in Isaiah 40 verse 3, it talks about Jesus, and in the Old Testament it equivocates it to Yahweh. So again, these are obviously slightly more complex interpretations. You have to look into the Greek, then look into the Old Testament, but don't let, for example, the members of the Dawa say that isn't right, it's too complex, because that then appeals into personal incredulity, right? So you want to make sure that you explain it to them, show them why it's true, and show them if they ask for evidence, you can show the evidence to them and see what they say. Because I think that's pretty factual evidence when you look into the Greek, which is obviously when it was written in Koine Greek. You can't really take that any other way. There's no other room for interpretation if you understand how it's interpreted, understand how it's been translated. If it makes sense.
You're unfortunate, you're unlucky actually, because you're unlucky in the regards that it's the Greek that you take from, not the Hebrew. Because unfortunately, the Greeks were from paganism, and their language is infected by pagan language. Had you, for example, had the Hebrews direct, it would have been far more clear, right? Because they're not infected by Hebrew. So, for example, the word coincidence is in is in Greek.
Yeah, I mean, you can hop in if you want.
Hold on.
Okay.
The word coincidence is in Greek, but it's not in Hebrew.
Before you hop in.
When the word is not in Hebrew, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
You know,
coincidence.
You know.
For example.
You know, like how obviously the gospel is written in Koine Greek, right?
You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
I know there are some words.
Do you know why I'm saying what I'm saying?
So you're saying there could be a mistranslation?
It could be no. The trust level goes down, the faith level of it. So I mean, it's shaky ground. Do you understand?
Not particularly, because
the side you take from is not the origin.
Well, obviously the Old Testament's written in Hebrew and some Aramaic, but mostly Hebrew, right? And then the New Testament, particularly the Gospels, are written in Koine Greek.
One person just has to change that flicker, and Jesus said, "Don't change the tittle." He didn't talk about don't change an acrylic. No, he said don't change the tittle. He was talking about one language that he knew would not be penetrated, and had you changed the tittle, it would change. And now the Greek, there's not even a tittle. No, it's completely something else, completely a different family language. So far have we come from where Jesus was talking about when he was talking to the scribes and commanding them, "Don't you dare change the tittle." Right. Now over here, you've got the pagans and their language. They're taking it and they're saying, "What's that? Adonai. What does that mean? It means Lord. Who does it come? Well, we could say he's Lord too, by Christ. You see what I mean? It's not that he was wrong, it's that unfortunately for the outsider who looks in and he says, shaky ground here. Already by trustworthiness, you have to skip a step and have to say, I have to swallow this and then just forget that it's happening, what's happening here, and just trust these guys. See what I mean? Already the first step.
A few comments, if you're finished.
Yeah, this guy's always at the park.
No, but I want to run everything back. So I didn't actually get your name.
Hassan.
Sorry?
Hassan. It means handsome in Swahili.
Nice.
Yeah, Kenya.
Cal, nice to meet you.
You know what that is? You know what this is?
The Ugandan or South African, like Zulu or something. I don't know.
Kuwait? Oh wait, no, it's
Isn't that Zulu? I think it is.
We'll give them 3 guesses, shall we, guys? We'll give them 3 guesses.
I mean, Kenya, Uganda, or South Africa. One of the two.
All right, go. You guess. You guess. All right, fair enough. You got Kenya. Well played. You got one.
All right, I'm Nigerian, so yeah, Africa.
Really, I don't have a clue.
No, so I want to run back a number of things that I think you got wrong when you were giving your rebuttal. Initially, you mentioned that your initial instinct is to just trust people. So apply that exact same rationale to the translators of the Hebrew into the Greek with the Septuagint that happened in the 300s BC. These people would have been both Hebrew as well as Greek speakers, and they would have been well equipped to translate the work from one language into the other. And initially, or additionally, should I say, there were 72 of them. So there's a lot of opportunity there to correct any errors if they exist. That's the first one. So everything he has said regarding references to the Hebrew text and their equivalent to the Greek text still stands. That's my first point. My secondary point then would be this. The fact that the Greek language supposedly is infused with paganism is not correct. The first thing would be that initially everybody effectively is a pagan until they are given the revelation of the true God. This would also stand for the Arabic that the Muslims later on would speak. Because don't forget, the Qurayshi dialect, the Quraysh were a pagan Arabic tribe. Therefore, every word that Allah reveals to them in the Arabic and that is later resented by Uthman is infused with paganism according to your logic. But I wouldn't make that claim.
You should.
Languages have the ability to tell the truth as well as to espouse falsehood. A language cannot be thrown in the gutter simply because the people of that language believe in a different thing than you do.
You should, though. You should make that claim because it would be strong.
Then therefore, the Qurayshi Arabic dialect that has become the dominant Arabic or the Fusha Arabic or the Hijazi Arabic is infused with paganism. Because according to the Islamic tradition, before Muhammad came along, they were just pagans. Go ahead, please.
Sorry.
It's a phone call. Go ahead.
All right.
I don't think that the Koine Greek written by the Gospels would have been infused.
It's a nonsense statement to claim that because people are pagan and have a language, therefore their language is infused with paganism and they can't tell the truth. Is nonsense.
You know what I was saying earlier about
Yes.
Sorry.
So generic fallacy is attacking the original of the actual information and not the information itself.
i.e. the Gospels rather than like
Exactly.
He does that all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's saying you need to have a red letter testament show that he's God.
Once I showed Lamin, it was a portion of John, either 640 or 1615, and he just outright told me it was false. Sorry, go ahead.
So it's not even genetic fallacy.
No,
He just rejected it.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead. It was regarding the idea that if a language is simply held by people who are pagans, therefore the language itself is in some capacity corrupted and incapable of telling the truth. I don't believe that.
No, not the language. The people. The Greek are people, not this language. Talking about the people.
In the same way,
okay?
well, you said the
the
language was infused. That was your literal
Hold
word.
on. I'm correcting you because you didn't know what I was meaning. I meant the Greek are who? Not just the language. I'm talking about the people of the
people
Greeks.
group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the Quraysh are Arabs, and the language is Arabic.
Okay.
And the man who we speak the language of, or say we as in the Muslim peoples, yeah, Pakistani, Kenyan, Swahili Coast, they are who? They are also speaking the Arabic language of the man named Muhammad. That's the language. He's basically the prince of Arabia, the linguist of Arabia. His grammar, his vocabulary, it was him. Because he has the only lineage and link to Ishmael. And he has the only link to Abraham. Abraham used to come back and forth to talk to Ishmael regarding his updating him with what he's doing, etc., etc.
Can you repeat that? What you just said? Abraham and Ishmael.
Abraham and Ishmael, father and son. And Ishmael.
It's just like you have a bit of a curse here. Like as soon as you turn up, the weather.
I bring the tsunami.
Do you honestly believe?
Oh, don't be Noah, man, please.
Sorry?
Do you
Maybe his analogy of a wave coming in and sweeping up all the motorbikes.
The Rain Man, that's me.
The rain
It
man.
wasn't him. It was him and Ishmael together.
Making it rain wherever you go, bro.
That's what I do.
Can you give us any historical?
Of course, of course,
Abraham and Ishmael?
of course. These are people who never had books or never had books or were able to read and write. They had to memorize everything orally, and it was the oracles who were given precedence. Only after the prophet came, when reading and writing was introduced
I think it's only one.
and placed up.
Yeah. So
Because Marcus fruit producer.
yeah, Marcus Luperita, and then
Luke could
yeah,
the physician.
yes,
And
yeah.
John could with
Yeah.
he's just John. John's
Yeah, and assuming
John's rhetoric alone shows that he could write well.
Yeah.
You know?
In Arabic.
How did Muhammad know Abraham?
They don't know anything except what they've been told by their elders and their elders and their elders and their elders, because they have to hold the story. These are men who used to know that fathers, all the way up to Abraham to
script.
Sarah.
It's a script.
Do you know Abraham? I don't know
It's a
which
script.
Dave. I don't know which Abraham is talking, but Abraham, historical Abraham.
Abraham is an English name, it's a Hebrew name, but
Open.
it's actually Ibrahim.
Is it done
means
up?
father of men.
It's wet, but it's waterproof, so you're fine.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure it's zipped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Right. Sorry, done up. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like it's like destroyed.
No,
Okay.
No.
Is it
He
done?
left
I was like,
no, as long as it's waterproof, yeah.
It's all good.
As long as I've got my
across to
inner
Syria
lineage in my
and
back.
then
Yeah, you don't wanna get those wet.
To Syria,
Yeah.
to Palestine,
Very
over to
thin
Egypt.
pages, you know.
These are stories only which are written from their forefathers.
Where did you get that story from?
well, he just said that they were written, but previously he said they couldn't
who do you
write.
think these stories come from? Where do you think these stories come from?
I'm asking you.
Yes.
You tell me where it came from.
The children of the children of children, of course.
But the children of Israel, who God had covenant with them, none of their patriarchs in history.
He effectively is, but
Is it like
he's doing the same
word of
thing.
mouth, right?
Yeah.
Because they had
So,
nothing
so
to do with this shit.
how trustworthy is the memory of a bunch of random Arabs?
They didn't write anything about it.
Who's
They
the
didn't
guy
know
that
about
done the
Adam,
7 different-
tribe Ad.
Yeah,
They
so
don't know
that
about
would be
Genghis Khan.
Uthman
They
and
don't know
his
about
committee with the
Khan.
Zayd, yeah.
Talmud. They don't know any of those Arabian ancients. They don't know.
And he
Why?
was like, you know,
Because
I'm
they
just
don't
gonna keep
care.
this.
It's not their lineage. You know what I mean?
It's not that. The argument you made, if you go anywhere tell the rest of the world that Abraham and Ishmael built a car, you should give us reference so we can verify. That's all we ask for. You
The
know,
reference is the building, first of all.
which one?
Okay? The building itself
Are you
is the first
saying-
reference.
Are you saying
And
Abraham went around the Kaaba? Is that what you're saying?
not just built it, but went around. Yes.
Can you give us
We don't do, they don't do anything except what Abraham did.
Just give us reference.
You know why they stoned that building?
Give us reference. That's why.
Yeah, why not? Why didn't you ask for that? I've been saying that your brothers you're taking time from.
No.
Because they were first. You know what I mean?
They're my brother. So
I know, but do you know that?
What I'm saying is
That you were asking one question and then it became like
am I
loads?
wrong to ask that question? Give us reference. Same way.
Initially, we talked about what your criteria for truth is, and you mentioned that if you suspected somebody was lying, you would ask them for evidence. So that's what he's doing.
What's that?
'Cause
He's asking
he
you for
feels-
evidence because he
Yeah,
suspects
he
you're
feels
lying.
like
Feels-
the evidence is insufficient, so he's asking you for evidence.
What evidence does he have that is insufficient already? He doesn't
Well-
have
He's
any-
asking you for evidence.
what evidence-
He doesn't need evidence to claim it's insufficient. He can make that claim because of a lack of evidence.
Yeah.
No problem, but remember, it's nothing to do with him.
Well, he's within his rights.
He's
I
asking
know.
you a
We
question,
can
right?
only I know, but it's nothing to do with him. Instead of like saying, okay, that's the evidence we have. You believe it or you don't. He's saying, no, we need more.
Giving us any more, anything.
But I can give it to you.
Give us.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
to
have
be
to.
fair,
I don't have to show you a thing. I know by heart. I can tell you right
that
now.
Abraham. You see how now the direction
Not
of the
very
conversation.
consistent.
All I ask.
So you want to see like writing? Is
Sorry?
that what you want? You want writing? Or you want?
Well,
You know, when you
that's his criteria for evidence, right?
Ask him what he wants. Because
what-
he's a
right,
friend. You understand him better than
writing
I
would
do.
be
He's a
great.
stranger to me.
Writing would be ideal.
Writing, right?
If you have any.
Fair enough. Why
The
not?
Quranic sources.
Okay, fair enough. Look, let me see.
Depends what.
Fair enough, right? That's a good way to start.
what point do you
Because he,
What he's saying is
God bless, man. Okay.
Ishmael built a car.
You heading off, yeah? Alright, see you next week, brother. God bless. Hey, it's getting a bit.
You can make claims.
Whenever you all want to go. I mean,
When it rains, it pours.
he can come with us.
Yeah?
Yeah. So if
What
you
do
want
you want to do? You want to grab a bite to eat?
wherever y'all want to go, really, I don't mind. We can round up the gangs
Yeah.
now.
All right.
Shall we time box this?
Yeah.
Six?
6 is
Yep.
fine. Yeah.
That's fine, man.
I would prefer.
I will give you the
like
evidence
maybe
if you
underneath
out of
the tree or
time, but
something
as
because
soon
it
as
is
I
a
come
little
out with
bit.
it,
Which tree?
I'll just search
Well, I
it.
mean that is the issue
You
nowadays.
need to run away.
Yeah. They're all kind of gone.
I need to invest in an umbrella, bro.
Head off.
This is only waterproof up to a certain.
You could rent one.
Let them head off and we'll stay.
But maybe not in London. I
I'll
can't
give you
afford
the
it.
evidence. Let's see if you-
I've spent like
you said-
an unnecessary amount of money over Black
in
Friday.
writing at least.
Let's go.
I think it's
let's
like
go.
600.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
It is
Like
what
all
it
the
is.
family. Half of that was my missus.
It is what it is. Is what it is.
that's
Mike,
a
I
claim, yeah?
apologize. Just like call out the last 10 minutes. There's nothing of substance here, but don't worry. We'll get back into it at some point.
Yeah, but
What
hey,
was the point that was looking to be made?
So
We were looking into the reliability of the Gospels based upon what he perceives as needing to be true.
well, effectively, he just discounted every reference you made between the Hebrew and the Greek
Yeah.
because of the fact.
He thinks there's something with pagan intervening.
not a Christian.
Yes.
So
Did you hear me?
with his definition of requiring evidence, we should ask him for evidence of that, right?
Well, we could ask him for evidence of that. He would probably give you, Zeus.
I had a Jew.
No.
Okay. But the presence
Abraham
of
was not
Zeus
Jewish,
does not eliminate
nor
the
was he a
ability
Christian.
for Greek-speaking people
No,
to
can
tell
you
the truth.
claim he was
It
a
doesn't.
Jew? No, was a Christian.
They won't get possessed
But
by
he
Zeus.
was a surrenderer.
Yeah. Well, like Zeus doesn't inspire every
Muslim
word
is not
ever
a
written in
word
Greek.
for
And,
surrender.
I mean,
That
I
tree
would
is a
love to
Muslim.
see evidence.
That son is a
present.
Muslim.
Yeah,
That
and the
is
same thing
Muslim.
will
They
definitely
also
apply to the
surrender.
Arabic.
If I submit to Dave, that means I am Muslim.
To who? To what? To which? What? You've got to submit to something.
Yeah, if I submit to David, that doesn't mean I'm Muslim.
No, you submitted to him. You're not Muslim.
That's
There you go.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying. Submitted. Muslim is submitted. The one who surrendered to
You
the
can
one
make
God.
a claim. Abraham never followed 5 pillars. In order to be
Yeah,
a
he
Muslim,
prayed. He fasted.
Yeah.
He made the pilgrimage. He testified there's no good but one God. Of course.
You see, what you need to understand.
And Muhammad the messenger, did he add that part
They don't
too?
have to make a claim.
Right?
You understand?
First prayer, is it?
Yeah.
Very first prayer.
Yeah.
What we're trying to
Pray, peace be with you, praise to Muhammad.
So, the
I
Abraham.
know, but you like to claim I'm claiming. That's what you're doing. You're claiming I'm claiming. I'm not claiming.
I see why he finds Hashem intellectual. I see.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Abraham is a grandfather of all the Jews. That is historical fact.
Yeah.
You understand?
I know.
So for you to remove Abraham from his position and make him a Muslim, it doesn't matter.
No. We haven't moved anyone. Abraham is the grandfather of the Ishmaelites and the Israelites. He's the father of the Arabs.
Dave, sorry.
Grandfather, they claim him because he has lineage to him. Yeah, okay.
There are many.
Sorry, man, that wasn't me.
No,
I wasn't wanting to be rude. I thought it was one question and I came and I did tell him he's taking time, so it's not my fault.
Let's go back to the point. So you were mentioning that the ability to cross-reference between the Greek and the Hebrew can't potentially happen, in your opinion, because you feel like there's been some form of pagan intervention.
No. I said it reduces its stability in faithfulness and trust. It reduces mine in it.
there's
Why?
less-
Because
you
at
believe
least
there's less
those
chance
Arabs.
for it to be
Hold on. At least those Arabs, they did the deed according to their own. These guys here, they skipped and went over to the pagans to do that, to do the translating. You understand?
So you believe that the writers of the gospel went to the pagans to get them to write it for them?
No. You told me that the Greeks.
Let me.
Yeah?
Let
You
me.
said the Greeks,
Let
because
me
you get it
make
from the
a.
Greeks, Christians.
No, let me make a collection.
What's that language?
Wait a second.
What's the language?
Let me
Let
make
Hold on, boss. Hold on.
Let me do a correction here.
Hold on.
There's something
Hold that
here that's
correction.
missing.
Hold that correction.
Something's missing here.
Hold that
Let-
correction.
let- let-
We were
You want to
referencing.
save you, right? You need saving, don't you?
Well, I
Well,
wanna
no,
go-
something's missing between what you're both talking about.
All right, come on.
We were referencing the Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament.
Define Septuagint. These are laymen who
I
are walking.
just did the Greek Old Testament. That's literally it.
Greek translation of
That's
the Old
literally it.
That's it.
It was translated by Jews who could speak Greek and Hebrew. I told you that already. That's all. It wasn't pagans who did it. It was believers.
Yeah.
That's all.
I know. That's what you say, but what they say is the authors were lost, and these are just names of. That's what theologians
You're
tell you.
confusing the
That's what-
gospel and the Septuagint.
No, I'm talking about the
Don't-
gospel. The gospel.
I am
the
speaking
gospel.
about the Septuagint.
But the gospel.
Because he referenced that previously.
The gospel was not a
Luke
book.
3.
Jesus was walking around, walking with the gospel. No. It was the gospel was what he was saying.
Right?
The truth of which, the good news.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about the
So
Septuagint, which is
the
what we
gospel is different to the Bible. It's different completely.
Well, the gospel is held in the Bible.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
The gospel is in the Bible.
No. Some parts are, not all of it. That's what we're trying to
No,
say.
the full gospel's in the Bible.
Yeah, we're saying Matthew, Mark,
We're
Luke,
trying to
and
tell you the gospel of Barnabas, the gospel of this guy, and the gospel of that guy. There are many good books.
Can you
The
tell me
Enoch.
the four deeds and
Hold on
whatnot?
a second. Many books were burnt. Many followers of Jesus were burned on the stake by. His name was Constantine. Many of these guys were burnt on the stake. What? Why? Because they were believers of Jesus.
Who did Constantine burn on a stake?
Many.
Name them.
I can't name the exact names, but I'm telling you what happened to the followers of Jesus.
Constantine
Okay.
didn't burn anybody on a stake.
Okay. Forget Constantine. What happened to the people who were called the disciples of Jesus? What was their fate?
They were
You
all
know.
martyrs.
They were martyrs.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Of course.
Okay.
What points have you made?
You're making a point there were
do you
other
wanna-
gospels.
Do you want to
right?
talk about who martyred them?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Pagans did it.
Pagans. No. Do you know who decreed this?
There wasn't a singular person that decreed it.
Okay. You don't know who
To different
decreed.
places
You
as well,
think?
right?
Okay.
Right.
Do you know who was the emperor at the time?
Justinian?
Okay.
I
Are you
think-
sure about that?
I think.
Okay. Go and do the research.
I hope it's
At the time
Justinian.
of Jesus.
Huh?
At the time, yeah.
It's-
Oh, was it Tiberius? One of them.
And then
Who do you
It's
reckon
just an
decreed,
emperor, does it matter?
The martyrdom
Yeah,
of these
the emperors,
people?
the emperors at the
Wait,
time
who
of the
died?
didn't really know about
Is he
the
going to say that the emperor was pagan or
Okay.
something? Like
Well,
that?
I think he's going to say that the emperor is the one who
Okay.
decreed that should all die. Well, then he'll need to explain how
Nero.
Thomas, who
The
is said to
disciples'
have gone
lives?
to Kerala in India, died.
Death. Who is the? Who,
The emperor of Greece have authority in India.
They don't know. He just said pagans.
Yes, pagans did it.
so it's not exactly right.
I know. Pagans.
No,
but
no,
everyone
nowhere.
was pagan.
It's
Talking about
just-
who decreed,
just
who's the
like
top
the
authority?
Dow
Who's the
jumping.
emperor? You're guessing.
Okay, go back.
No, I'm
This is
saying
history.
generally.
It's not my
Yeah,
history.
go back. Right here.
Why should you know more than him?
What was the point you were trying to make to that?
I said,
Brother, can we bring it back to the conversation
disciples-
we were gonna have?
Yeah, the disciples were killed.
Okay,
They were killed
So
for
what-
martyrs. So it's like, who? They were questioning me. So when I questioned them, he was like, on wobbly legs himself.
please go on.
No, I can tell you.
Why does the name of the emperor matter?
I can tell you where they were killed and by whom. It's not a problem. If you want to
But
know
you
that
just
stuff.
told me who.
I said generically pagans and Jews, I guess.
Now you're adding.
Yes, because I remember Peter and Peter, James. Yeah, Peter and James.
But do you know that one person has to decree this before the mob comes?
No, that's incorrect.
do you know that?
So
do you know the emperor?
Let me
First of all,
let
do
me
you know
show
who
you.
the emperor
Let me
was?
show you that you're wrong in a number of ways. If you look at, for example, Matthew, who is said to be the founder of the church in Ethiopia, he was killed by a man named Flavius, who later an Ethiopian, who later became a Christian after having a vision following him burning Matthew at the stake. Mark was the founder of the church in Alexandria, and he was killed because he was celebrating a feast day of the Lord at the same day as pagans. So they grabbed him, pummeled him, threw him in jail, and then tied him to a chariot and dragged him on rocks until he died. James was killed in Jerusalem because he was the founder of a church there. Peter was killed in I believe Rome, as was Paul. He was beheaded. John died of natural causes, despite the fact that he was tortured and imprisoned on Patmos.
Who was the one that was decapitated as he was praying? Who was the one that they cut the
Decapitated
head off?
as he was praying.
As he was praying. Who?
Well,
Rome, they beheaded Paul, but on the stake, that's a
it may be Paul. I assume he was praying.
Paul, yeah.
Yep.
Do I have to bring up ChatGPT because I'm paying £20 a month for this?
So am I, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get. I mean, go for it if you'd like.
ChatGPT, and
What
you
does
can
this
bring the
fact
sources.
have to do with anything?
In any case, who was the dominant emperor at the time of all these killings
Right.
of the
Like-
people
No,
of the
there-
people who touched Jesus?
there wouldn't have been.
The actual 12 disciples.
There would
Does
have
the
been
emperor
like.
control Ethiopia? Does the
Hold
emperor
on, hold on,
control
hold on,
India?
hold on. We'll talk in a minute.
There would have been about maybe 3 or 4 emperors in that time. Because you're talking about from the early 30s AD up until the 90s. Emperors didn't last that long for the most part.
Justinian lasted 56 years.
As emperor, or he
As
was
emperor.
alive as
As
emperor?
emperor. And he was alive longer than that.
That's a rarity.
I know it was, but
Yes, so
it happens, right?
you would probably have had multiple emperors in that time.
Herodotus.
No worries. We could actually look it up if you'd like to see. I
Doesn't actually matter. We look
I
at
don't
what
believe
matters.
Herodotus was an emperor.
We look up what matters. What matters right now is what the gospel was. I was saying, we got a book that the guy was carrying around. What the man was talking about.
Islam
Yeah?
is not a religion. It's an organization of Shaitan, the devil, who's disguised as Allah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I'm just
8,
talking
9.
about what the gospel actually is.
But why would you think that Christians deny the fact that they were in
Okay, you had a lot of emperors in the first century. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 emperors in the first century. So there's a lot there. So
About 10 years each, innit?
Huh?
Average of 10-year rule each.
Yes, so you're going to have to, for example, we know that classically
Who was the one that
Nero was
was
against Christians. We know
No,
that.
no, I know that. Who was
But
the
then,
one that? Who was the one that? Obviously before Nero.
Okay.
Who was the one that oversaw Jesus at the time of Jesus, and he found out this guy is rustling up the feathers.
There
over
was
there.
never.
What was his name?
There was never any emperor who had any decrees against Jesus. There was a governor of Judea, and that's Pontius Pilate. But that's the best you're gonna get.
Go higher than him because he can't even do much.
he can because he's the governor of a region.
He's a governor.
He represents.
He will not do something
He represents
against the emperor's wishes. He knows that's okay to do
So,
because the emperor was who?
The reason that you had the emperor in the first place, right? And the reason why he has governors of regions is because messages cannot get back to him fast enough. Don't forget, in the narrative, Jesus is taken at night, and then he is crucified the following day. And so he is judged the following day. They didn't have ChatGPT nor iPhones, so it would have been impossible for Pontius Pilate to be able to confer with the emperor before then handing him over to the Romans. So that's impossible in that narrative. So that's where you're not correct. The governor of his own accord can indeed carry out the emperor's wishes and will without conferring with the emperor first.
There you go. The emperor's wishes and will. So he needs to know what the wishes and will are.
And essentially
Come on.
he would know this beforehand because
Come
otherwise,
on, there you go.
how
That's
would
what I'm
he
trying
do
to tell
his
you.
job?
How would he know? He has to know the emperor's wishes and will.
So effectively, he would have to know that the emperor would like the region controlled and that they would like the tax coming in frequently.
And
that's all.
he'll know a wish and a will be to kill a certain person for a certain reason.
Because there is no way
You telling me
that
they're
the
killing
emperor,
people willy-nilly?
Well, at times they did, yes. Take, for example, what happened
You
in
think
in
they'd risk
70
their life
AD?
as a governor
Well,
to kill willy-nilly
you would have
anyone?
to then provide evidence to say
You'd have to
that-
provide no evidence
Well,
except this
well,
concept.
No, here's
Common
the idea.
sense. I'm a governor. I've been appointed as governor for a certain reason because I have understanding of what the emperor has wished and willed. I embody that. That's the only reason.
Control the
You don't have to go
region,
through
keep
actual
the
evidence.
tax flowing.
You want like
so
a...
now you have to
Hold
provide
on, boss.
evidence.
Hold on, boss. Let me finish.
Go for
you
it.
want like a time machine to go all the way back
No.
and say,
No
"Woman
time
Tyler, why are you here? What's the wish and will of the emperor?
I gave it to you already.
And if you kill this man, do you know it's his will and his wish? Do you know that? All right, now zoom back with the time lapse.
Hold on, many governors did act against
Against the
of
will, I know. And how many were punished?
Some were gone.
And how many were punished?
It was mixed.
Many
Like
punished.
today.
And what was the punishment for doing against the emperor?
Demotion, you get sent into penal servitude.
And come on, talk to me.
They're hardly ever executed.
Talk to me.
Are you trying to say they were?
Punishments are there. Now, you tell me, the punishments being there, would they not think twice before trying willy-nilly anything? You think this Jesus thing is a massive thing?
Hold on, Rome was a place of glory where you would do conquest in a matter of attaining glory. Julius Caesar, when he was sent there, had no authority to go into Gaul. He went there, took Gaul,
Yep.
and he came back
Yep.
and he proclaimed victory of Rome.
And what did he
That
do?
was against the will of
I know,
Rome.
I know. We're not talking about Caesar at the beginning. We're
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
yes.
now. This is post.
Yes,
remember?
okay, yes,
this
yes,
is now in Judea.
Agreed,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the Byzantians are not like the Romans.
Okay,
the
okay.
Romans are a little bit.
Yes.
These are two different eras.
Understood,
Yeah?
understood.
Wait. You've made a mistake just there. There wasn't a Byzantium in the first century.
I
You
know,
made
I
a
know,
mistake
I know, I
there.
know, I know.
Like,
I'm talking about the
you're getting
evolution.
mixed up.
The evolution, because he's talking about
So,
pre.
The
Augustus
point still
and
remains.
Caesar,
You're
what he
going-
did
Wait a
was an
second.
exceptional
You're
case.
going to have to provide evidence that every time a governor of a region wanted to execute somebody, they had to first confer with the emperor.
Yeah,
No,
it's ridiculous.
that's
Of course,
ridiculous.
of course. I'm not saying that. No,
Well, that is what you're saying.
Rewind that.
That's what you're
We can
saying.
rewind that.
Okay, so what
Did
are you
he say
saying?
that?
No,
That's what you're
I know,
saying,
I know.
yes.
No, I said there was punishment if he did something that was absolutely against the
Well,
emperor.
see, I've got
And
that.
so what
Oh,
he
you-
did
you-
was usually
it's something my missus.
with
Okay,
the emperor
cool.
aggression
Cool,
was.
yeah.
Was it not? Of course it was. That's why they appointed governors in the first place. Governors appointed there by Mr. Emperor because he knows I could trust these guys. Hands-off policy. I know they'll be enacting what my wish and will is.
But you're
Do
missing
you
one thing.
understand this?
I do.
It's a very simple concept, isn't it?
But I don't know
Why
why
would
we
you have
discuss it.
constituency in a
Okay.
bloody political area?
Exactly, but at the time, it was severely regarded as a demotion to be sent to Judea. Of course, every Roman governor.
Thank you.
wanna go.
So what would Pontius be doing?
You think he'd be appealing to the emperor to try and take?
What would he be
something?
doing more of? Yes.
Okay, but
He's at
what's
the
your
Demona State. Where can he go? He can only go up.
Okay,
Right?
Well, I'm not too much of an expert.
I
is that
don't know
anything?
what point you're making, my friend. I'm sorry. I don't know what
So
point you're
it
making.
means he will be the first one, the most ardent, fervorous of a believer in the Pope and in the Emperor.
There was no pope, my friend. Please.
One mistake of a word,
oh,
and
okay.
off you go. This is called
Well,
lack of patience.
Are you gonna correct yourself?
I did. I was about to, but you were faster than me. You'll be calm. Patience.
I'm a sharp dude. What can
I'm
I
not even
say?
talking to you. He's supposed to be correcting me.
I'm still listening.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Etiquette of speaking, my friend. Simple etiquette.
Well, etiquette of speaking will also include not shouting, and you've been doing that quite a
No,
bit.
no.
So
My voice is just loud. That's
no,
all.
that's not accurate.
No,
at all.
no.
You
no.
weren't raising your voice with
No,
self-confession.
no.
In the beginning, you were talking very calmly. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're
but
lying.
if I shouted it, believe you me, you'd know.
You're shouting currently.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
But
So now you're back down.
no. But
So
speak-
I think we both learned
Let's do
etiquette.
this right now.
So now we can move on.
Voices around me have risen. When we were speaking, you can rewind the tape. It was very quiet, ambient noise. This lady's coming. That lady's coming. It's very
They're not
hard.
part of the conversation.
But on top of that, there are more people now around us. It's just me and him. You know what I mean?
I'm just listening.
So he's acting as if he's victim of a man shouting. It's not.
Well, you're acting like I'm interrupting you, and then you're upset about
No,
that.
no, I'm not
So
acting. You did. It
If
was
you
on
were,
tape.
If you were claiming that etiquette is
Yeah.
needed in discussion,
Yeah.
then I can learn, and so can you. So I cannot interrupt you, and you cannot shout,
No. Shout if you need to.
and I'll interrupt if I need to as well.
Yeah, but if you need to interrupt, fine. But I'm saying,
So
but
now
I was
you have the
about to-
problem, but a second ago you did have a problem with this.
No,
Because you
no.
mentioned etiquette
Yeah,
for a reason.
Yeah, because I was about to correct myself. I said one little mistake. I was about to correct.
Yes, and
I said Pope, no, Emperor. Did I say that?
No,
okay.
you just said Pope. And
No. You can rewind that.
Stop it there.
Thing is, the good thing about it, because he interrupted so quickly, it didn't need no correction.
Let's
See what I
go
mean?
back to
In any case, you see yourself, my friend. You need to analyze your videos and watch up for etiquette.
I don't really like watching
patience.
myself, but
But how would you know if you're right or wrong?
I could for you.
How would you know if you're right or wrong?
Good memory. Good memory.
We just talked about memory being so bad right now. I'm talking about we need reference.
Well, no, we talked about memory not being reliable enough.
There you
to
go.
Substantiate
Now you-
the idea
now there you
that,
go.
The idea that supposedly you could have a succession of Arabs who would somehow be able to backtrack their ancestry, possibly 4,000, 5,000 years in the past, simply by remembering who their granddad was.
Yeah.
That's not accurate, man.
That's very easy. And my dad actually does that himself.
Your dad
and we could go
can't
back.
go back 5,000 years.
Not
That's
5,000.
impossible.
Not 5,000, my friend.
At best,
I never said
150,
5,000. I never said
at best.
5,000. But the Arabs went on to do that all the way to Sam. And actually, that's how they kept family ties. That's how you do it.
So
They were not readers and writers. They were orators. They were reciters.
that's incorrect. So here's how
You know Arabs better than Arabs.
Yes.
You know Arabs better than Arabs.
Yes.
My African
yes.
friend.
So
the Arabs can't say I know Nigerians better than Nigerians.
well,
you say no, he doesn't.
They can if they do.
Yeah,
So
they can't.
Here is my evidence.
Because they're too far away.
Here's my evidence for that. You just said that Arabs could neither read nor write.
Most of them could not.
Here
Yes.
is the problem. In Arabia, you have multiple groups of Arabs. Take, for example, before the time of Muhammad, as far back as 512 AD. In the north of Arabia, you would have the Jassanids and the Nabateans, Arabic Christians, and they wrote in Greek, in Syriac, and in Arabic. Don't believe me? There is a tomb for a warrior martyr in northern Arabia, near the old Jassid Empire. It was built in 512 AD, and it has an inscription on it that is trilingual. It's in Greek for governmental speaking, Syriac for liturgical speaking, and Arabic for the common folk. So it appears that even before Muhammad was around, Arabic Christians could read and write. So you're not accurate.
Is that a wonder?
No, it's just saying that you're incorrect when you claim that Arabs couldn't read or write. And you have to explain then Zayd bin Thabit, who somehow could read and write. So it's not, it's just not accurate at all.
It is very accurate if you look at the Arabs themselves. Zayd was an exception. That's why he was praised. It said, Zayd, you can read and write. Please teach the rest of us. Zayd, you can read and write. Please teach the children. Those prisoners who could read and write, it said, you will be free if you could teach the children to read and write. The advent of Islam made reading and writing praised. Before Islam, it was the orators, the oracles, the reciters that were praised up. The Arabs, after the ancient Arabs, the Nabateans, they're called the ancient Arabs, they were way, way, way before the Quraysh. The Quraysh knew them as their forefathers. They were great. But their civilizations were wiped out off the face of the map, according to Quran, because they disobeyed God.
No, the Nabateans extend all the way up until the 1900s. That's not true.
Those little guys that happened to stay at the end, those guys, yeah, they were from the Hijaz region, went the north, yeah, and they learned from the Persians and the Romans. They didn't have their own culture. They weren't ancient Arabic culture. It wasn't like that. They were learning Greek and learning Persian, speaking in those tongues and learning from those predominant culture.
Do you have any?
The Arabs.
Do you have any
the Arabs
ancient
were
inscriptions
finished.
in Persian?
The Arabs. Hold on,
brother.
hold on.
I have them in Greek. Like
Hold on, brother. Yeah, you have them in Greek. You don't have them in Arabia, do you?
I have them.
You don't
In,
Arabic,
I have
do
them in Greek, Arabic, and
you?
Syriac.
Yeah, because
I
they go
can show it
translate
to
from
you.
what?
No,
In any case, it doesn't matter.
was trilingual. I'll
What
show
the
it to you
point
right
is, my
now.
friend. This is the thing. We go off topic. What the
Hey,
point is this?
You made a point. I'll show it to you.
The topic is this. The point is this. The Arabs at the time of the Prophet Muhammad were illiterate mostly. Talk to me. I don't know if you know about this. The Arabs of the Hijaz region, the Quraysh, for example, could they read or write? Were they known for reading and writing?
So there were scholars, for example. If you look at oh damn, I'm blanking on his name now. He writes this book called Creating the Quran. He's a critical scholar of the Quran. I'll get his name in a second. But effectively, he says that what most likely happened is they were functionally illiterate. As in, they had an alphabet, they had a working alphabet. I can evidence this to you in even ancient inscriptions that we have available to us today. However, they didn't use it for anything legislative, anything to do with inheritance tax, anything to do with property deeds. They instead just used it for poetry. So it's called functional literacy.
Civilizations by tax, civilizations by reading and writing, literacy. Literacy and civilization and taxation is what makes a civilization. The Arabs did not have. At the time, they were squabbling nations and they could not read and write. In fact, they had no institutions at all.
That's not true.
Okay.
They had Jews and Christians there.
When? What year?
As far back as 512.
What year? What region? What region? Who?
The northern region.
The northern region, yeah.
So
Because
it was
what's running on the northern region? Why? Because the northern region were the ones focusing on Persians and Greek and Romans.
Even
no,
south,
go south.
In Yemen,
South-
you have Arabic Jews and Christians there. So
Studying from where? From what civilization? Studying from who? Studying from who?
Studying.
Studying
sorry.
from who? Yes. What
What
civilization
do
of
you
who?
mean studying from whom?
What civilization? Literacy from who? Reading and writing from who?
So
where are they being taught from?
For example,
to read and to write, you have to be taught
literacy,
that. You don't get to,
particularly for the Torah, is very big amongst Jews, and it's been that way for thousands of years.
Yeah, the Jews have their own
and
literacy.
then the same way, it would be the same for the Christians, right?
Yeah, the Jews.
Literacy was also
Linking back
something
to Israel,
that was very highly prioritized.
That's what I'm saying. Minorities. You're talking about minority. You're
Well,
talking about Arabia,
to
the Arab,
say-
Al-Arabiya, Ishmaelites, not Israelites.
So-
there were some Israelites.
The term Ishmaelites doesn't even really apply to the Arabs, because the Arabs are a hundred of different groups. They don't all accept Ishmael.
Whatever you say, bro.
Even your Hadith say this.
Whatever you say, bro.
Your Hadith say this.
I know, whatever you say, bro. Because there are two types of Arab. The
sorry.
Adnani Arabs, who were wiped off the face of the map, Yeah, and the new Arabs from Arabia, from Yemen, who came up north and met up with Ishmael and his mum Sarah as they were looking for water, and that was what came the Hijaz region of Arabia. Two different Arabs.
That,
Yes,
that would mean that Ishmael isn't the father of the Arabs. They already existed before him.
exactly.
So he isn't the father of the Arabs.
As I said, there's two types of Arabs. The Adnani Asian Arabs who are wiped off the map.
You said that the
Rewind,
Yemenis
yeah?
already
You guys
existed.
rewind, yeah? There are two types, yeah? Adnani Arabs who are wiped off the map, and the Ishmaelite Arabs who were from Ishmael, and they could originate their lineage from there, because you only originate your father from the most noble lineage. The most noble lineage is Ishmael. A people come from a father. Father gives children. Children give children. Children. And where they came from, that tribe, Al-Arabiya, comes from that.
So every Arab does not actually descend from him in a direct sense.
Not every Jew descends from. You understand? You have to understand what descendants are, tribes are, how Arabs are. Sudanese are Arabs, but they're not Arabs in terms of anything except language.
Well, Arabs aren't
Yeah?
a race, they're a culture.
There you go then, yeah? According to you. But they know.
They aren't, because you have like black Arabs and white Arabs.
There you go, that's what I'm
not
saying.
white
That's what I'm
Arabs.
saying. The definition of Arab is by blood and by language, not just by blood.
So it's a culture.
Yeah? Like everything else. Yeah? Blonde, blue eyes Jews. And brown haired, brown skinned Jews. There's two different, yeah? But they link themselves by blood and by language.
Well, they've
yeah?
always
That's
been
what
a
everything
mixed
is.
multitude.
Okay.
That's even what the Bible says.
I don't mind what you say or what you want to correct, but we're not going to the nitty gritty. We're trying to speak as in speak.
Well-
because we can't speak and stop.
Well-
we're going to check that. Speak, stop. Definition.
well-
Your definition, his definition, no.
Whenever you'd like to
people.
see it,
Tribe, people.
there's something called the Zabad inscription.
You need a
And,
phone, I don't. That's the difference.
Well, that's why I can quote things and
That's
you
what I'm
can't.
saying, I know. But sorry? Yeah, he's saying you're fake. Basically, saying there's black Arabs and white Arabs, but you don't really anything.
That wasn't.
The black Arabs, there's two categories of black Arabs. The first category is we had.
Now we get to it.
Come to the microphone so his audience can hear you being corrected or him being corrected.
That
by
wasn't
Arab.
that wasn't my claim.
Because
So
black and white Arabs,
he
so
said.
it's a culture. It's not really a people. Are you not a people?
So Arabs are not a racial group. It's a culture. That's because you can have multiple different
For example,
races, if you will,
I'll
within
give an example.
Arabic context. So that's the first thing I said.
Arab isn't an ethnic, it's not an ethnic group, it's more of a culture, it's a linguistic share.
So tell him it's not a culture because that's what he's saying. It's a
But
culture.
he just said it was a culture.
No, he just said it's not a culture just now.
No, he said it wasn't a race. Please
He
repeat
just said
this.
it's not a culture just now.
It's a culture.
Yeah? So what do you say it's not?
It's a culture.
Okay, Bismillah, go ahead.
I know, it's a culture. However, not every person who speaks Arabic is ethnically Arab.
So there is
You
an
have
ethnicity.
pure Arabs.
There you go.
And you have Arabized.
There you go.
Arabized people are the ones
Tell
who
him, bro.
who migrated from the
Not
Arabian
me, tell
Peninsula.
him. Tell him about the Arabized and the Arabs. There's Arab, the core, and the Arabized, which are the Arabized.
Arabized
For example, I might be Arabized. Yeah, yeah. My mom's Yemeni. My dad's Omani and Persian and African. So I'm mixed race. Yeah, but we're Arabized Swahili coast. Yeah, you tell him what the core Arabs are and the Arabized ones, because he just wants to wipe you all.
Pure
as a
Arabs. If you want to speak about it genetically, and
See, it is.
if you want to speak
Okay.
about it historically, historically the ones who migrated outside the Arabian Peninsula and went to places like Egypt, North Africa, Libya, Algeria, they're not Arabs. You have Amazigh, Berber. However, after they converted to Islam, they began speaking the Arabic language because of the influence the Quran had on them. Now there are some Arab tribes who did migrate to North Africa, like Bani Hilal, Bani Sulaim. These are minorities and exceptions. In the Levant, for example, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine, you also have Arabized groups. You have a lot of people from Palestine, Syria, Lebanon who are actually leftovers of the Crusaders. But after converting to Islam, they began to speak Arabic. Genetically, an Arab is defined by anyone who belongs to the haplogroup J1, EM84, and J2. These are the three main Arabic haplogroups. That's from a genetic perspective. historically, you did have a lot of Arabs who migrated to the Levant, like the Ghassasina, for a Christian tribe, and they still have leftovers in Jordan today. They're Christian and they're Bedouin Arab tribe.
Yep.
And you have
I mentioned them previously, but yeah, sure.
you have Tanuki tribe, which I belong to personally.
Okay.
We were originally Sunnis, and then we converted to Jews, which is a branch of Ismaili Shia Islam.
Okay.
So you do have a lot of Arabian tribe migrations throughout history. However, I believe that Arabs in the Levant and in North Africa, pure Arabs are minority and not a majority. The majority of Arabs are concentrated within the Arabian Peninsula. Even within the Arabian Peninsula, you do have non-Arabs minorities like the Ajam, like the Arab Iranians, the ones who came from Iran, migrated from Persia. They even hold Persian names like from Persian cities, like Ashur, Felika, Felikawi, Kandar, Kandari, for example. These are examples. The Baluchi tribe, which came from Baluchistan, they're well concentrated in the UAE, Oman. So this is what comes to Arabs.
Awesome. Thank you for the summary. And then the second point was that he claimed that in the time of Muhammad, Arabs were just illiterates. Like they didn't know how to read or write.
I wouldn't say they were illiterate.
I know it's a
but
common.
Islam did open their minds. Islam did heavily influence their creativity, their productivity, their contribution to science as well.
But before that, we have a lot of examples of different Arabs engaging in either writings via rock inscriptions, carvings, mausoleums, even in the north.
Examples,
So
for example, the Nabateans, for example.
The Nabatean and the Jassanids too.
They were they had Aramaic, Greek, Arabic,
Syriac.
different
Yeah,
languages.
so we can't say they were quote unquote illiterates. Now you might make a claim
We
that,
call them Juhal in Arabic Fusha because they used to worship statues.
but then you can worship a statue and still be literate.
Exactly.
It's not mutually exclusive.
They weren't literate, but they weren't at the same time. They weren't. The majority weren't. I would say.
That's
were not what?
that's the case for the ancient world.
They weren't as well educated.
Yeah,
How
there
they
was.
read or write the majority?
That I'm not sure about.
Okay, I am. See? The difference. Zero. That's biography.
He won't be able to give you one, unfortunately. It's a recurring narrative that we have here.
Listen, they definitely weren't illiterate. You see that?
Huh?
You see, they definitely weren't illiterate.
That's my point. That's my point. But his point is that they
I was
are.
warning him earlier about etiquette. And he said he won't be able to provide you one. I want to talk about it. The seerah. Yeah? First and foremost, obviously, who else? The hadith. Who else? What else? The Quran itself. When he's about to say that, it goes back against him. He doesn't check his videos. I told him to check your videos because your etiquette, your patience is not quite there.
Are you recording?
He's saying,
Huh? It's not my channel. It's someone else's channel. There's two phones. Relatively like sub 100,000 subscribers. Sub 100,000. I think one has like 95, and the other one still has like 25. Okay, so I'll let you want to join in the conversation. But my 2 points were as follows: that the Arabs are not a race. Yes, there are genetic markers that are common between some Arabs. Absolutely. For example, I have like a Jewish friend who tells me about a certain haploid group for people who are of the Cohen sort of like last name. They all have to have like a commonality in the genetic markers. That's fine. That doesn't make them a race. It just means they have close lineage.
how do you define race?
Huh? The definition of race changes.
No, don't worry about the change. I'm asking you. What's your name?
Well, Davis. Yeah.
What do you define as race?
I'm more of the idea that race doesn't actually exist.
Okay, so you don't even believe in it.
I think race.
Yeah.
I think race is a term.
But it changes over time.
It's a term that's applied on a group of people who share common origins.
I mean, let's go with the Quranic definition. We've paid into tribes and races. Yeah? Khalas.
So,
Tribes and races.
how do you define a tribe and a race?
Yeah? Nation and tribes. But what's nation?
A group of tribes.
There you go. What's
He said it wasn't nation.
Yeah?
Shu'ub is people.
Now, tribes and peoples, what's the difference?
A tribe is a people who share common origins and are from the same genetic group.
Yeah, of course.
People can be any. They can be Ajam, they can be Arab, they can be non-Arabs, they can be anything.
What's Arabs?
Arabs. It's a culture.
Yeah.
Because
So it's not a
even-
people then.
even the
it's not even a people.
Even the
It's not a people. So you're saying a people and you're now saying a culture. I mean, use the definition that you've been given. Yeah? By God himself, right?
Qaba'il and people, right?
If this guy's gonna say, I don't believe in race, I don't believe it. I don't think it changes.
Not all Arabs
How can you
are
believe in
from
this guy? Tomorrow he's gonna say, tell us.
Not all Arabs are from Qaba'il. We said Qaba'il and people, right? Not
Yeah.
all Arabs are from our people.
Yeah.
Or Qaba'il, sorry. You have Arabs who are Arabized. They speak the Arabic
I
language
know,
because
so
they
what does that
converted
make
to
them?
People, non-Arabs.
Yeah?
Non-Arabs.
Yeah. What does that make the Arabs?
What? Tribes are Arabs.
Tribe.
The other people are non-Arabs.
So they say Arabs are tribes.
Yes.
Combination of tribes. Yeah?
The
And
pure
what's the
Arabs.
people then? Yeah?
non-Arabs. The people of the non-Arabs.
I know. And the Arabs are?
Purely Arabs. They are Arabs.
Shaba'il and what's the two? Qaba and
Sorry?
Shah. Yeah. Okay.
That's how everyone
Be careful
does.
now.
Go ahead.
Don't slip.
Qaba'il are Arab.
Yeah?
Qaba'il are the real Arabs. And the Shu'ub are anyone who isn't.
Don't worry about the Arab part. Anyone can do it. Yeah? What's the definition of these two?
A tribe is a group of people who share common genetic lineage.
Group of people
Yes,
who share
a common genetic lineage.
Okay, and then Shabbat and Qad.
Are people. They're just people who aren't tribal. Tribal in meaning that they don't share common
You
origin.
cannot say the same word on the same people. A group of people. What's this one then?
Also people, but they're not tribal. That's the difference.
So what's the connection? How do you find them?
Can you talk about?
No
Can you
idea.
translate the verse into English?
Yes, we made you into tribes and races. Yeah? People say nations and tribes though. See what I mean? See the difference?
Nations and tribes.
Yes, you see the
There's a
difference?
tribe and a nation.
There you go. A nation is a mix of tribes.
There's a tribe.
Are Arabs a tribe?
Yes.
Or multiple tribes? There you go. They're a nation. They're a race.
They're not a nation. They're a race. They're a race, but they don't all share common origins.
Habib,
Are you saying that
Habib.
Arabs are a race, or are you saying that they share
Habib,
common
what does
origins?
God say they are?
No. Just want us to speak. Let me ask you a question.
I'm asking you. You're the Arab.
Let me ask
You're
you.
the Arab.
You don't let me speak.
Yeah, I'm asking
Answer the
you.
question. Answer the question.
I can't answer for you. You're an Arab. I'm asking you. What are you? Are you a race or a tribe?
I'm a tribe.
Okay, and your people are a race or tribe?
Tribe.
I don't even know
Okay.
what to say.
Do all Arabs share common origins?
They say it's just one father, Sam. Yes.
Lower your voice.
Come on.
Lower your voice.
This is common sense
Sam,
stuff.
you want to go back to Sam?
Yes, Sham. Yeah?
Just to
Where from
confirm,
Sham
sorry,
comes
my
from
friend.
what?
What's your name? Sorry.
Marwan.
Marwan. So you're doing the same thing again you did to me. Stop yelling at him.
ignorant. He's
He doesn't need to.
With all due respect to
You don't need to yell at
Oh,
him.
sure. Why not? Why not?
You have to yell at him. He's talking to you very calmly.
I know.
You don't yell at him. That's what I'm saying.
I know. Fair
Then
enough.
stop
fair
yelling
enough.
at him.
Fair enough, but let him say that. Not you. Are you
He
bothered?
just said
Are you bothered?
He just said you were yelling at him. He just said it.
Okay.
Okay,
Apologies.
1 minute.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question without joking.
Go ahead.
He said وخلقناكم شعوبا وقبائل لكي تتعارفوا, right? We يعني translate that verse to English.
Go ahead. Come on, Arab.
You translate it.
You're still yelling at him.
I can't
I don't know why you're yelling at
You
him.
can't translate it.
you translate
Why
that
can
first.
you not translate it?
I want you to translate it.
I know. I will in a second. I will.
I'm illiterate.
Why can you not translate
I'm
it?
illiterate. You translate
Then
it.
you can't be here. Yeah, literally cannot be here.
Translate it.
You see what I mean?
Then translate it.
No, I will. Why can you not?
Because I want you to.
I will, but why can you not?
Because I can't translate
I
it.
will. I've said it like 100 times.
Translate it to English.
I was wondering why he
It's a
can't.
simple question he can't answer.
I don't know.
answer it.
I don't
Because he
think
knows
he's
if he translates
interested.
it,
No.
he's gonna slip. That's why.
No,
I don't
it's
think he's
not.
interested
I
in
know
having
it because
the
I've written it
translation.
down in my own phone.
Translate. Say it.
You know, I can show you what I've written down. I'm asking you, why can't you?
I don't think he's interested in
I don't
having
think he's
like.
serious. Translate it to English.
It's up to you if you want to carry it on. It's up to you.
Translate it to English.
I've made you. We made you into races and tribes.
Maybe translate it to English. Go ahead.
We made you into races and tribes.
So,
You know,
continue.
you may get to know one another.
Okay. So get to know each other. So the tribes get to know the people, but they're both people. How does that
Nations,
work?
nations is nations.
No.
What's up? What's up?
Go ahead.
What's up, Baba?
Go ahead. Continue.
What's funny?
Continue.
What's the gotcha? What did you get me?
Just slip.
How did I slip?
You said the tribes
Yes.
want
and
to
the
meet the
people.
people, but they're both people.
No.
What do you know?
Races meet
How are they
races.
not people?
Races meet other races. Tribes meet other tribes. This is just
So
small
tribe is different to
and
race.
big. That's the only difference. It's not.
But
It's
a
not like
a tribe belongs to a race, though.
It's not. Yes. It's not a rocket science. Nations and tribes are just tribes,
Now you're
many
contradicting
tribes
yourself.
are a nation.
You're contradicting yourself now.
Why?
Now you're contradicting
Can
yourself.
you tell the camera what
I'm not involved.
Tell the camera.
Did you contradict yourself?
Why are you asking him?
So
Because
you
he's
know-
a shahid. Who is shahid?
If you know I did, what did you tell
So-
the camera that I did? Where did I contradict?
So he is still yet to provide a definition for a tribe and a race. You have provided your definition for a tribe, a group of people that share a common ancestry and genetic traits. Whereas a nation, a race, a nation.
I don't even know what his point is. What's your point?
I don't know what his point is really. But whereas
We're all lost then.
the nation can consist
We're all
of
speaking and you're lost.
multiple
You
groups
don't
of
know the
people.
point of all this.
Well, you haven't agreed yet on what's being talked about.
That's why you're lost.
So you
One
have an
person-
erroneous definition
one
of a
person
verse in the
contradicts
Quran.
himself, and you're lost. When you should be.
And you can't provide why. So again, the point remains that you asking what a race was. I told you that the word of
No,
a
no,
race
not
has
asking.
changed over
Not
time.
asking that.
For example, during the Gaelic War is a work attributed to Caesar, Julius Caesar, who lived around like half a century before the Common Era. And so in that text, he refers to the Germanic tribes as a race. But technically today, we would look at the Germans and the Romans and say, well, they're both whites. So they're both the same race. But it appears in that time period, they didn't regard it as such. So it changed over
From a
time.
man, right? Let me ask you a question.
There is a strong definition of it.
Let me ask you a
what
question.
it actually means.
There is.
Let me ask you a question.
Changes.
In your opinion.
1 minute. Have you ever heard of Al Qahtani tribe? What race do they belong to?
The Arabs. That's it. Khalas. He says it doesn't exist. The Arabs don't exist as a race. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But what do you mean? Like elaborate.
I say that the term race changes over time, so I don't really hold to the idea of race. Absolutely, there are people who have common ancestry and certain phenotypical traits from that ancestry. That's fine, right? I would say they're an ethnic group, for example. When it comes to the Arabs, I would not call them a race in the way that we hold to today, because they don't share a common ancestry. Some do, and some have been adopted in. That's the reality of it. It's not controversial to say that. So
Listen, for example,
He doesn't believe in race, no problem.
he didn't say he didn't believe in race.
No, he said it changes, so
not-
he doesn't hold anything about it.
He said not all Arabs can identify coming from the Arab race. Like, because they can culturally share.
The Arab race. What is that?
for him, he's using the term
What is the Arab
to
race?
denote common ancestry.
Arab race is a group of Arabs who share common ancestry.
That's a
That's how
tribe
he's
then.
using it.
That's a race. A race because it's a mix of tribes. who share
Okay,
common ancestry.
okay, thank you.
Because
There
when
you
you
go.
have different tribes, different names, but for example, bin Ma'ad, bin Adnan.
That's all. That's all.
Sabah,
It's not hard, is it? Is it hard?
That's what I'm saying.
A race is a group of tribes, right?
A group of tribes who share common ancestry. That's correct.
Khalas.
But not all Arabs speak Arabic or from the Arabic race.
Yeah, some of them are not. Some of them are literally black Africans.
So, like I said, in the way that we use race today, I wouldn't call the Arabs a race in that.
And the way we use race today,
today.
we would call all
I-
Arab race because that's how it is today, unfortunately.
Well,
Today, when you bring a person from Mauritania and you ask him what are you, he's gonna say he's an Arab. You bring him to speak, bring that Mauritanian guy, speak to me, and then we won't understand what he's saying. He won't understand what we're saying.
So the way that we
The only
use
common
race
ground we would have
today,
is probably some terminology within the Arabic language.
the way that we use race today is that we sort of like subdivide the world into like 4 or 5 quadrants and essentially just group whole continents of people together into a single race. So in that sense that we use it today, I wouldn't apply it to the Arabs. That's what I mean. Maybe in an ancient way, where it was like, common ancestry, common language, you could, but not today. Not in the way you do today. That's my simple point. Because the Arabs are dispersed across like multiple different regions in Asia and in Africa. So to call them a race in the way we hold it today wouldn't be quote unquote accurate, which is why I say that I personally don't hold to the idea of a race. Certainly common ancestry is a factor, absolutely. I'm not going to deny that.
But it's
I
true.
wouldn't call them races.
But it's true. God did create 3 to 4 to 5 races on purpose of different clay types.
No,
Yeah?
that would not be accurate
For example,
either. That would not be.
Caucasian. They're not Bantu. They're not Hamats. Yeah? They're
That-
Caucasian, okay?
but that
the Yellow
term
River,
is
they are
made up.
flat-faced. They are Asiatic. These guys are Negroid or Bantu
Oh,
or
God,
Afro.
that-
You see what I mean? They're two different face structures.
I wouldn't
face
say
structure.
that. I wouldn't say that.
Face structure.
Because
Face structure.
Arabs are
Nostril types
Genetically.
and jaw types.
Not
And-
all Arabs.
I know, I
You
know.
have Arabs from Yemen
I
to
know, I
North
know, I
Africa.
know,
That's
I know.
what
They're
Africa.
Afro-Asiatic, they call them.
Yes.
Yeah?
I wouldn't.
And you
I-
have J2, West Asia.
Yeah?
Iran,
You understand?
Persia.
Yeah, yeah. So mix of tribes, of which come from races.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
So I mean, when we come through, take all the books away, and just come to common sense of being a Bedouin in a desert who just knows what's a human being and what's a human being's brother's brother. And
Let's
where do
put
we
it
go
this
back?
way. You can bring a Bedouin tribe, for example, two Bedouin tribes from Saudi Arabia, both Arabs, both Bedouins. They do a DNA test, right? One of them, for example, is J1, the other is J2. Genetically, they come from different races. But, I mean, they both identify as Arabs, and thus they both share common origins in terms of the nasab. This is a
Nasab
very,
is say in
this
English
is-
because he doesn't know what
this is a
Nasab
very
means.
problematic discussion because sometimes the nasab can contradict the genetic results.
I know, but you got to tell him what Nasab is. He doesn't know.
I'm guessing like a lineage or something.
It's like
Like a lineage.
But in any
maybe?
case, what's the truth? Races mature, races and tribes. Khalas.
Well, no, that wouldn't be the case at all because the problem would still remain that there are certain people groups who you would call races who no longer exist today, for example.
We only
And-
talk about the races that exist today that come from.
Okay, then
Ham,
you said that
Japheth,
Allah
Sam.
made 5 of them.
Okay.
Are you sure the 5 still exist today?
The children do, yeah. We could tell who the children are. I know you're definitely not from Nigeria. I know. I know he's definitely not from Yellow River. The flat faces of the Prophet was saying, of warning about the Mongols. The hadith about the Mongols. They will be flat faced. Yeah? This and that. What? He meant a different race completely. The Arabs didn't know who the flat faces are. We know this. Different race completely. The Asiatics, the Caucasian are not the same. The Caucasian and the Afro are not the same.
So
You understand, yeah?
these groups you have are absolutely man-made. They are nothing to do with any kind of universal decree that God made. Because the problem still remains that over histories we have swapped and changed these groups over and over
We
again.
have mixed races, they're called in.
No, not even that. Simply the classification. In the late 1900s, early 20th century,
the scientists come in, yeah.
there were supposedly books titled things like "Are the Jews Negroes?"
Yeah, of course.
But then they were referring to European
Of
Jews.
course.
So unless you want to
course.
claim that Allah made the Africans and the European Jews from the same clay, then your classifications of these races are just erroneous and based on pseudoscience.
No, not pseudoscience. It came from common sense. It's called Adam
Not
and
common
Eve.
sense.
Okay? It's called وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ. Yeah? For sure, we created man from potter's clay, from hummus. Hummus is black clay that's very sticky. Yeah? Masnoon, formed into shape. Do you know who that was?
Supposedly for Adam, right?
That was him. Not supposedly, that was.
Supposedly.
Yeah?
This is how you guys.
That's not supposedly, that was.
This is in Surah Rahman,
Yeah?
sorry, yeah?
No, that was Adam himself, yeah?
Okay.
You understand? Hey, the man, how you doing? Oh, you forgot me now? You forgot me, yeah? We go over there and feed you.
You feed me?
I said
no,
you.
you have to be careful because I don't take food from someone. Now, what do you mean by feed you?
Yeah, but I invited you
The
to
only thing
dinner.
I can assess is that you probably think you got the same jacket as me, but that's about.
No, you don't recognize me at all, do you? You don't shook my hand if you did.
Food? No, I don't know about the food. Talk to me. What did we talk about?
Yeah, we went to a restaurant together and I said, don't you dare pay. I'll pay for it. I don't mean like I pay.
Me? Oh, my friend, people don't pay for me. You know what I mean?
Okay, then you definitely don't recognize me, do you? But I know who you are.
Okay, what do I
And
talk
God
We thought
terminated you
Tell me,
from
tell me,
the
tell me.
earth like a plant. We are a plant.
No, like is a simile.
Yeah, like a plant. No, but it said,
You're not giving me.
yeah, like a plant, but very smart plant.
Because
Would I have known
you
your
have the
daughter?
spirit.
Would I have known your daughter?
everyone's
It's
got an
like a
ex.
Would I have known your daughter?
You agree with
Okay,
that?
keep going.
Like means simile.
I wouldn't know that.
It's
You
not,
know in
it's
court.
not literal.
I'm
Like
not
if I
calling
say
you
you're brave like a lion, I'm not saying you are a lion. I'm saying you're comparable to a lion.
You know that.
not enough.
You know that ex was very bad. I know, man.
Yes, it's a
I've
simile.
been marrying you for faces.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe it's because of the hat. You don't remember.
There's similarities between you and the plants. For example,
tell me a couple
plants.
of- if you-
Not even that. In science, you learn about the 7 life processes that all living things do. You and plants do
just
do
me and
the
you?
same thing,
No,
just in different
no,
ways.
no,
So there's a similarity, but you're not a plant. Because if you are a plant, then that means a plant can be a human. But it's the same thing.
2020, 2021. Hey, shit.
No, bro.
I know. I know. You
Alrighty.
I figured that out already by the first handshake, and you missed me. I know that. And I don't think I can convince you by telling you about your wife or your daughters, because you'll say, anyone can have that. But if I tell you the
In
details,
Arabic doesn't say. It say we are
you
plants.
still won't remember, because your memory is not about the story, it's memory.
That's what it
Don't worry
says.
about it.
Do you have
Alright,
similes?
والله
in
أنبتكم من
Arabic?
الأرض هجرمنت you from the earth نباتا plant. It doesn't say like plant.
Do you have similes in Arabic?
Similarly,
That man is brave, like a lion. Do you have that? Or you just say that man is a lion?
That's when you have to buy
yes,
me dinner. then.
obviously like mine. It makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Who's that?
But then there's no like.
Who's that?
No,
You are a plant.
Who's that?
Now you're in trouble.
All right.
go to your
trouble.
version. It's showing. Doesn't
What's
say
it?
it's the word
David,
plant.
Faraz.
No, that's 17.
Whoa.
When you finish.
Faraz, David. No. Wait.
No.
No.
No, it might be this one. It might be this one.
David, Faraz. Watch this now. Ready? You ready for this one? What is my name?
Antonio.
Anthony.
You see that now? What do you do now? What do you do?
I
What do you
I'll type
do?
in your name. Hold on. I swear to God.
Go on, what's it?
I swear to God, the God of mankind. I'll bring my Note 10, which is in my house, to next week, right here. And I'll have your WhatsApp on my bloody phone here. I said, who's that?
Okay.
Who's that?
Okay. But you remember, the reason I'm doing this is because you said I was done.
I know.
That's why
I
I put it.
know,
All
I know.
right, okay. If you'd have kept quiet, we could have been cool. All right, now you get it.
I got it. I'll bring it. Don't worry.
All right.
So my other Google something
right.
synchronized, isn't it?
And remember that, don't go on your phone, put my name and da.
How could I know your number? How would I know your number?
All right.
Let's go back to the topic. So God
I
also
remember
said
when I get it, you only
in
did
Surah
it.
Rahman, he said, and
So you're in trouble.
created man from hard clay, like a bricks,
Like.
and created the jinn from a fusion of a fire. Now, some scholars, Quran Muslim, they say
But I don't remember
the material here, from hard clay, and the jinn here, it could be the soul created from fire.
So chill and not
But the jinn is speaking about a particular kind of existence.
Not in the Quran. The word jinn in the Quran means someone hidden. We say, if I have a baby, woman's womb, we call it janine, because it's hidden. As soon as he out, it's not janine anymore. Janine originally comes from the word jinn.
but
so he's now exists, so he's not jinn anymore.
So you can't see the jinn, from my understanding.
Yeah.
That's maybe why you use that term.
Yes.
But from my understanding, if that word jinn just means like the soul or whatever, then how do you explain the idea that
Wait, before it's said here not jinn, it's said jan. So we have jan and we have jinn.
I've got a friend who talks about oneness.
So jan.
So wait,
it said here,
which word is
created the
jan?
jinn from a fusion of fire.
And then which word is jan?
Here. Now, if you go to the Quran, it doesn't say jinn, it says jan.
If my voice goes.
So one letter.
55,
These guys be making
50.
me shout. These guys be making me
You
shout.
shout on
So
your own
the Quran
accord.
is confused. The English
Are you
source is
okay,
confused
Nabil?
between jinn and jan. We have jinn, we have jan.
Yeah, debates everywhere today. But this
And
one,
now we know that God, for
no,
example,
it's real
appeared
hot.
in the bushes,
My
behind the
voice
bushes,
is
in the fire.
There's quieter ones, there's louder ones, there's intellectual ones, there's kind of silly ones.
No, well,
Your taste, you know what I mean? Go around and
no,
listen now.
it's not playing for me anymore for some reason. That's weird.
If you look at it, you see al-jan. No. Do you speak Arabic, brother?
No.
Okay, al-jan different than jinn. I can see it here. Jan and we have jinn.
What I can do as well, I can.
Put
I can-
jan and jinn, for example.
What do you reckon the difference is?
Between jan and jinn
Yeah.
in the Quran.
What do you reckon?
Jinn is hidden, someone hidden thing. Jinn.
I'm going
What's
to
Jan?
a
What's
word
Jan?
for comparison.
Jan come from hidden, but different than jinn.
Why?
Jan is different than jinn.
What is that?
The Quran say, not me.
No,
There's
no.
Jan and there is jinn.
I know, but what does it mean? The definition
Of Jan,
the both, the difference, yeah.
The al-Jan, according to
Yeah.
Quran,
So it does say
Jan.
Jan or
Yeah,
whatever,
you see,
right?
as I said, so it's not jinn,
And
Jan.
then if
in
I
Arabic.
click on it, Apparently, it means a variety of things. It can refer to jinn in a number of different verses, as you can see here.
Obviously, the Jan, the word revive, evolved from jinn. We know that.
Okay. So there's a relation to the word jinn.
Yes, but Jan is not the jinn.
Okay, well, here are a few sources where like Jan or Janun is used.
The best way, just check in the Quran how many times the word mentioned Jan.
Here.
And how many times mentioned jinn.
Right
Only
here,
Jan.
right here,
Only
right
Jan.
here.
Okay, show me the verse.
These are all the references. I'll send it to you.
Wurud,
I'll just send it to you.
Jan. Because it's mentioned here.
Here.
Yes, I see it.
I'm sending it to you.
Okay, so we have the word Jan in Surah The Ant, number 10. And again, Jan, Surah Qisas, Stories 31, is talking about Musa stick. As if it's like a Jan.
Because it came alive. Right? That's what Surah Taha says.
Yeah, it become like a Jan.
Like a snake.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, but now it's not hidden. So why do you call it Jan?
Interesting.
It's not hidden, you can see it.
What surah is that?
You see what I'm saying? Jan is different than
No,
Jan.
what surah is that?
This one, Surah Ant, number 10. And now we have two verses.
Which ayah?
Ant 10. You want me to look for it?
Yeah, which ayah? Which ayah?
Verse 10.
So Surah 10 verse 10?
No, I don't know. The surah called Ant, so I need to look for it, see where is it.
Now you're freaking both of them. Really particular because he doesn't know.
You find it, Surah The Ant.
The ant.
Verse 10.
Is that 27?
10.
No, is the ant 20? So all Moses indeed is a lot. Oh yeah, I know this one. It's 27. My bad. Sorry, I know this one. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, throw down your staff, right?
Yeah.
And so you're saying the word Janins, yeah. So let me look it up.
He saw it as moving. كأنها جان. As if it is like a jam. Did you see the old gutter?
I saw. I was right behind you. I was right behind you, man. Are you surprised? You already knew that they would do that. It's okay. Become Christian, and then we can defend you. Because I don't know half of what you're saying in Arabic, so I can help you.
Yeah. Jan. Here.
Jan. Janun, okay.
Jan.
Janun.
Now recitation, the O on the top make it slightly different to how to say it. Janu. But it's Jan.
But then that isn't how you say snake in Arabic.
Janun. No.
How do you say a snake?
Afa. So, throw your stick and it will move as a Jan. So it's not hidden. So Jan is different than Jinn. Now we agree? Then I will tell you now here what is Jan. Because I think the Jan is the soul, the one inside your robe.
So apparently, so in Surah 27 and 28, this is the same story about Moses. It always just calls a snake a Jan. But what about in Surah Taha? Give me 1 second. Let me talk about
I think in Taha it will mention Jinn, not Jan, because Jan is only mentioned in these 5 verses. And again about regarding the Musa stick in Surah 31 stories. And then God explained what Jan in the Quran is created from fire.
Give me 1 second. Let me have a look at what.
Yeah, Ar-Rahman 15.
I'm looking for 20.
No, it can't be. You know what?
This is Taha? Yeah.
Yeah, Taha. Yeah, okay, here. What's in your right hand? It's my staff. I lean on it, blah, 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 blah.
15 Arabic.
Throw it. He threw it, and then. Okay, so 2020.
No, but here it says only snake. It doesn't say Jan. Falqiyah, so throw it. It's gonna be like a snake moving. It doesn't say here the word Jan. So we have a snake and we have a Jan. One time he call it snake, one time he call it Jan.
Why?
So throw it. It's gonna be like a snake.
Yeah.
No, he said wait. So he throw it down and thereupon it was a snake. Now here it said it's a snake. The other verse said it's gonna move as Jan.
So which one is it?
It's a snake, but this one is gonna move as Jan. I don't know.
If I said Faraz is like a lion, and I said Faraz is a lion,
It's gonna make difference.
those are two different things. Interesting. All right,
Anyway, go Rahman 15 now.
I'll keep that one. Sorry,
Rahman 15.
you have to tell me what number that is.
Rahman 15. So, as I
55.
said,
Oh yeah,
Jinn is
I
not
was
Jan,
there. I was there.
And
Okay.
created the Jan from a fusion of fire. And it's mentioned again in different surah that Jan created from Nar, from fire, in Surah the Stone 27.
Okay, that's something to look into.
And now we know that God appeared, for example, to Musa behind the bushes, because numerical value for the word fire in the Quran is 12, and the numerical value for the word Allah is 12. So there is something mixed together between fire and God. God and fire. have
Well,
something
the
shared.
Bible does say that God is a consuming fire.
You're joking. I don't know. God is a consuming fire. Show me, because you know I do lots of research on numeric value.
No worries.
So we have the spirit and we have the soul.
If you go to, I think there's one in Hebrews.
Okay, what do you think then? If God, no, I want this.
Yeah.
It's very important.
So this is Hebrews 12. Therefore, let us be grateful for receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and thus let us offer to God acceptable worship with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire.
For our God is consuming fire. So, do you believe the soul inside you, it could be come from God and originally
Well, it does. It's created by God, yes.
and is it from fire? Do you think maybe?
No.
That's what Quranic scholars say.
I don't think it's from fire. Fire is a physical thing. It's not a spiritual thing.
Yeah, but fire is energy. So what? This energy, it may
Then they have an experience.
you know, have personality, where you talk and everything. That's the soul, not the spirit. I don't know.
It depends how you want to describe it, but yes, one of them is what animates you. We would say it's like your spirit, for example, you know, or how you move and talk and whatever. And the other one would be your rationality. What separates you from the animals?
Okay.
How can you think and contemplate God and pray and do art and remember things? Yeah.
It must have energy. It must
Well-
come from something that gives energy. Because who exists first? The light or the fire? If no fire, there's no light.
Yeah, this is simultaneous. And
No fire, no light,
we Christians use that analogy to explain how the Son always has to be with the Father. Because the Son is the power and the wisdom of the Father. And so because the Father cannot be without his power and wisdom, the Son is always with the Father. In the same way that light is always with the fire.
So God like fire and the sun comes.
Yeah. So that's no other way about
And the sun we have here, fire, and give us light.
Yeah. But the two happen simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that's the way that we explain by analogy
Okay,
how
so-
the sun and the fire are essential.
Now, according to the Bible, how God created the soul? Do you know anything? Soul, not the spirit.
It doesn't describe the process, just says he created it.
Doesn't. We
Yeah.
don't know nothing much about it.
Well,
Even in the Quran, we don't know.
well, we know from John 1 that everything that exists because of the Word of God. So it was created through the Word of God. So through Jesus, we say that.
And it was created.
Yeah.
But we don't know nothing about it.
Well, we know a few things, right? We know that the soul is the thing that gives us what we would say the energy to do things.
So it's made from energy.
Wait, it's not necessarily made from energy. However, because energy is a non-physical thing. But in both of our traditions, we hold that Adam was made out of the earth, out of clay.
Yeah.
But when he was made, he wasn't alive. His form was there, but he wasn't moving and speaking.
Yeah.
Then something had to happen where something had to be blown into him. And when that thing was blown into him, then he became alive. He started moving and speaking and thinking. So yeah, exactly. So we would say that's what the spirit is. And the spirit comes with the soul. They're a package deal.
Together.
Yes. Yeah. And don't worry. Next time I'll come and say, yo, I'm with him. Whatever he says is true. next time. All right, people. Crazy conversations were had. I have no idea who that individual was. He seems to have a memory problem where he would just forget the thing he said right after he said it, and then make it seem as though I was in the wrong. Do me a favor, in the recording, after it's edited down, because there's lots of periods of dead air, count the number of times that he says the wrong thing, is corrected, or contradicts himself. And it's a no wonder why he thinks that Hamza that Hashim is a person of knowledge. Because when you're like him, man, you know, a goat's a person of knowledge in that sense. But anyway, pray for the boy, and hopefully he comes to the knowledge of the true God, man. We'll see. Later.